So let's get started here. Usually, here on Boston Has Entered the Chat, we start with what's trending. But clearly, this is trending. This Luka move. Ante, we bring you in because as we look at the tweets from Shams, when this happened, you and I were texting, and I kept writing the same thing. Fake news. This isn't real. Here's a tweet from Shams here, and you kept telling me, oh, no, Trav, it's real.
It is real, man, and I kid you not. I woke up this morning and I felt like I was in a fever dream last night. It was insane to get this news straight to my phone. My friends were blowing up my phone. You were blowing up my phone. My mom texted me saying, is this real? Nobody believed it. It was insane.
Sheesh. Well, it is real. I mean, Case, your reactions as we look at all the details here for Luka going to the Lakers and now, obviously, Anthony Davis going to the Mavericks.
Well, first I thought, okay, Sham's first sham just got released on the internet. We know what the internet likes to do sometimes. You love it and you hate it. But then once you realize it's for real, and I don't know about anybody else, but I know that when Twitter started really popping off, you had to double check the fake accounts. So I kept going to this man's account like, this is not the account. Like, this isn't the normal check mark. But of course, for me, the initial thought when I guess I started to wrap my brain around this being for real is the drama. The drama. How did we get to this point, and who do we point the finger at? And I'll just say, like, there's a lot of things I saw online, but Mark Cuban, I think he's somebody that woke up just catching up to all of this as well. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here for the drama.
Yeah, Brendan, we can roll the Cuban quote because – listen, he was asked about trading Luka in 2020. Mm-hmm. Mark Cuban said, if I had to choose between my wife and keeping Luka on the Mavs, catch me at my lawyer's office preparing for a divorce. Catch me outside. How about that? I mean, Mark Cuban going hard for his boy Luka. We know Cuban no longer involved in Mavs operations, and I guess, I mean, Tay, I'll come to you with this. Is this not the new Mavericks ownership group just being like, yeah, we don't want to pay this guy? You know, he was due for the Supermax.
Yeah.
I mean, they've slandered this man on the way out of the door, saying he's out of shape and all these kinds of things. Clearly, can't we always follow the money here, Tay? They just didn't want to pony up.
Yeah, I mean, definitely where I went to first is like, they had an opportunity to have conversations with him this summer for an extension, and they were looking at that Supermax deal, $345 million. They were like, are we sure that we want to pay a guy that much who doesn't play the other side of the basketball, which we are very well of noting that Luka does not guard. He will not play defense. When he does, he's a very, 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 very special player.
Yes.
But a lot of the time we don't get that. So, of course, that's the news that I'm excited, like crazy about is like, hey, they don't want to pay him. But what I'm really nervous about is what are the Mavericks going to do in the long term now that they don't have Luka? Mm-hmm. Are they going to trust Anthony Davis to be the guy that bridges them into the future? Are they going to trust Kyrie at 33 and Anthony Davis at 31 to be those guys that kind of keep them going for long term? You talk about, hey, they fat shame Luka, right? Calling him fat on the internet and all this other stuff, right? And that really comes down to him not being available. They were upset that he got hurt on Christmas, that he has been out for a calf injury since then. But what about AD? What about Kyrie? Those dudes have missed major minutes and major playoff moments for their respective teams back in the day as well. So it's a little nerve-wracking for me that they went all in on ghost mode. Hey, we only want AD. We're only talking to the Lakers and maybe one other team that's being reported that they talked to, right? But their focus was on AD, and they obviously love what Kyrie has been given to them. But I'm a little nervous that they were saying, hey, health and defense is the reason that we don't want Luka here, but health has been an issue for their two big stars now.
Yeah, I think those are great points. I still just go back to the money. I really do. I can't get around this case because I just think, why would you trade someone so young in the prime of their career? I hear what Ante's saying with defense, but Luka at the same time showed us during that playoff run last season. When I'm dialed in, when I play, that's fair. But when I'm dialed in, when I play defense, I can dominate on both ends of the floor. Now, if I'm the Mavericks front office and coaching staff and all the people around Luka, I am on him to stay there. That's on them. I think that's part of your job to keep this guy engaged. I'm not saying he doesn't need to take some self-responsibility here, Case, but I look at it as the Mavericks fumbled this too. You're choosing to not pay this guy and to let him walk. He's entering the prime of his career. That will come back to haunt you. Instead, why didn't you do the work to stay on top of him to be in the best condition? And then if you were doing that and that comes out, and we'll hear all that nowadays, we'll know all these stories, Case. If it does come out that they were indeed hounding this guy and he was pushing back, then I understand in theory trading him. But why the Lakers? You could have got a better haul from anywhere else.
Because they wanted AD. They wanted AD.
Yeah.
That's what it was, and he has that relationship with Pelinka, Nico Harrison. So, I just think that really pushed everything upon it. But, it is what it is.
It was short-sighted. It was short-sighted because they're putting too many chips on AD. And I think you pointed out something tremendous. He hasn't always been the healthiest guy. You're putting somebody in a position to put the weight of a team on his shoulders, and he's past his prime. Not to say that he's not bringing good game to the court, but he's past his prime. You trade up a guy who's 25 years old.
That's right.
And I think something to emphasize, let's put a highlight over some. He's not from this country. He's 25 years old. When you're getting instilled in what you need to do to be the best athlete possible, talk to some of the top athletes in every sport right now. They didn't start figuring out what was best for them until 28, 29, 30. Right. And then they started applying that to their game. So that was such a cop-out, even if he was giving some pushback, to not spend the time to teach him how to help himself, because now you just put a revenge chip on his shoulder, toss him over to the Lakers for AD. I mean, I'm still not going to get past that one, in my personal opinion.
And I love that you brought up that point, because looking at this from Luka's perspective, right, he's going to get an opportunity to face off against the Lakers on February 25th. Against the Dallas Mavericks. See, I'm saying the wrong teams. I still believe he should be on the Mavericks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But he gets the opportunity to play against the Mavericks on February 25th. But the biggest thing about this is he gets to be with LeBron James, who has been the standard for being healthy and putting into your body
longevity,
and spending millions of dollars on his body and health and leadership and all this other stuff. So we know LeBron's career is sunsetting, so he has the opportunity to learn from LeBron James, whether it's the rest of this year, next year, 2 more years, whatever LeBron has left in the tank. He has the opportunity to learn how to take care of his body with the Lakers. So essentially the Mavericks just gave him an opportunity to succeed at the highest level, and they should be nervous about that 5 years down the line.
That's why I actually think the Lakers won the trade. And I want to get into this of who do you think won, the Mavericks or the Lakers here. I'm going to say the Lakers because of everything that you both laid out. This guy's 25 years old. He's going to learn from LeBron. He has to now be pissed off and embarrassed that this happened to him. If anything can create a chip on your shoulder, it is this. It may not be losing to the Celtics in the finals, which I thought, and Ante, you remember this, we talked about this on Hold My Banner last season. Yeah, I thought the Mavericks losing to the Celtics would be enough fire under Luka to come in conditioned, best condition of his career, ready to go, ready to get back to the finals and win it. Clearly, that wasn't the case. At least the Mavericks certainly don't think it was the case with him. And we're hearing reports that he's way out of shape right now in his rehab. So, listen, this should be it. You're in La La Land. You're with LeBron. You can learn from him, but LeBron's on his way out. And then it's your franchise. You're the face of L.A. So I would think this will light a fire under Luka when he is dialed in. And I know that's a big when and if and all these things. But when he is, he's one of the best in the game. That's why I'm taking the Lakers. That I think they won this trade. Big picture. I get short term, maybe it works out for the Mavericks, but I think big picture, how can you not say the Lakers won this trade? Case, do you agree?
Oh, I absolutely agree, because also in some ways the Lakers added the right younger elements to this. So you're kind of bringing that big picture concept into it, but it might not be as long as some people may think. Something else to keep in mind is that what has the NBA been known for? Kind of trying to make these all-star teams happen, and impatience has become a part of the DNA of roster building and GM decision making. And I think with this one is where the Lakers definitely won, because now you're going to be potentially grooming some great but like great skill set, great minds, new face of the franchise underneath you, so that this isn't something that's just going to play out over the next 2 years. You're looking at 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And if he does learn from LeBron, then this is somebody who can put his skills to the court for, nearly a decade to come. He's 25 years old. I can't get past that point.
It's crazy.
How do you give up a guy at 25 years old who has been one of your pivotal players in any playoff potential that this team has ever had?
Yeah. I think it's tough. I hate this question, honestly. Who wins a trade, right? I think in the short term, if you ask me who's winning this trade over the next 2 or 3 seasons, I personally believe the Dallas Mavericks won this trade. Now, if you're asking me in the long term, maybe it is Luka. But if you're asking me right now, if I have to give you both a definitive answer, it's a lose-lose trade. Both lose trade.
I didn't think you were going there.
Why?
Rob Pelinka,
Unpack.
Nico Harrison, you have failed both of your organizations.
Wow.
Rob Pelinka, you have given your team another LeBron James. LeBron James has done a lot of great things as a Laker. Don't get me wrong. He won the championship there in the bubble. I will give him that. But every other year since then, and all the years before then, it's been very, very ugly playing the LeBron James style of basketball. The dribble, me. LeBron has not been playing defense as a Laker, which is the honest truth. He's been standing straight up and down. If Luka Doncic comes in and plays like the Dallas Maverick Luka Doncic with the Lakers, he will not bring you guys a championship in the time that you think that he can. That's just my honest opinion.
Wait, so
I'm
quick
with Nico
question.
Harrison on that.
Quick question, because you mentioned LeBron not showing up defensively for the Lakers over time. Do you think Luka might actually tap more into defensive abilities? Because you can't have 2 LeBron-style playing guys at the same time, or else he's going to hurt himself.
100%. I think that he has to. In order for them to win this trade, like you guys are telling me they did, right? He has to tap into the defensive side, and he has to be able to do it for long periods of time. Like Travis said, he did it for about 15, 20 games in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
But other than that, he hasn't really shown us the ability to do that over a long period of time. So I am saying that if Luka, I have no idea. I'm not talking to Luka. I don't know how this dude is wired, right? All I know is from what he's shown me up until this point, he is not a defender. He does not play defense. He is not interested on it. That's the 99% of the time, Luka, that we get. Now, going back to where I think the Dallas Mavericks messed up with this trade is that the Dallas Mavericks are not good enough to win an NBA championship right now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I cannot put my faith in the fact that Kyrie is going to be healthy and available and ready to play, because once again, he had a great playoff series too, but then once he got to the finals and faced against the Celtics, he disappeared. And then the other years previously, when he was with the Nets, when he was with, all these other teams, he didn't show up. Ever since he's left Cleveland, he's had injury after injury after injury in the playoffs. Yeah. So I can't say that Kyrie is going to be healthy enough to be on the court. Same thing with Anthony Davis. He's missed a lot of time. He's not shown up in playoff series where they needed him to show up. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's a credit to playing Bron ball. Maybe now that he's not playing Bron basketball, he will have the opportunity to show up more on the offensive end for his team. But I just think at the end of the day, both teams missed the mark, especially the Lakers, who I'm hearing are frantically searching for a center. Who, you basically have this small window of having LeBron James something left in the tank for him, and you don't have a big to protect the paint for him. This is one of the worst defensive teams in the league, gotta be now, with LeBron and Luka standing next to each other with no center to protect the paint.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the West standings even right now. Lakers are 5th, Mavericks are 8th. I would think the Lakers right now, that's why I say short term.
Yes.
Obviously, it's pretty obvious to me the Mavericks win the trade in the short term.
Yes.
But I think over time, the Lakers can build around Luka, not just for the foreseeable future, but much deeper into the future as well.